everyone. It is Michael Devon back with you for another episode of Starbeam.one's Stand-Up and Shine and Shill special edition. It's the Friends and Family Alpha release launch. It's also my birthday. Let's begin. My camera, or the camera app, is kind of struggling with these hats unless you wear my hats like a unicorn, so I don't have too much of a problem with that. Anyways, welcome. This is my birthday, and on my birthday here, we've got a Friends and Family Alpha release, and it's exciting and scary and all these things at the same time. You know, it's just finally putting something together, and it's out there, and you can actually buy a product that's out there and ready to be purchased. And I'm going to get into some demonstrations here on what that actually looks like, because I've got commerce providers wired up and ready to go. So everything's there, and it's just so, you know, it's like I've mentioned it to a few people already. It's like graduating, you know, like especially being a developer, a programmer for over 20 years now with .NET specifically, and now just to the point where I have a system where you can not only buy stuff, but you can buy things that I make, you know? And it's just really, really just unbelievable. And I'm still processing it. I haven't really accepted it. Of course, you know, that does come with some other news, you know, and we'll get into it as well with, you know, like this whole morning I just spent fixing bugs. So we'll talk about that as well. So getting back to the alpha here, there are some limits, and that's kind of how I'm managing the anxiety around this, right? Because it is the first time I've actually had this sort of situation where I'm got the commerce and everything. So right now you can have a max value of $15 in your account, and you can no longer get any deposits after you go past that amount. So if you have $15, you can't get any further deposits. And then if you are selling product, your product price per unit cannot go over $5. And so, you know, this is temporary. This is just for the Friends and Family Alpha. We build confidence in the system, and then we increase these numbers as time goes on. And finally, we've got withdrawals. We've got PayPal payouts. I'm very happy, very excited about that as well. And that's how, you know, when you have money in your account, that is how you do that. You do a withdrawal, and you do that through PayPal payouts. And right now, the limit is one withdrawal every day, every 24 hours, and the max value is $15. All right, next here. Blue Hat seems to be doing better. Kind of appropriate for the dashboard here for the website. And this is the dashboard, right? This is kind of the statistics, the main statistics of the site, kind of just going over, you know, a semi-weekly review of all the you know, major statistics of Starbeam.one, and how you get to that is that hamburger up here in the top right. It'll take you to this menu, and dashboard is right there. And so been putting some work into this. This only now gets built once per hour, and it lets you know when the next build is going to happen, and it refreshes accordingly every minute to kind of let you know. Blazor is just so awesome, and how you can go about refreshing the view and whatnot. And so you know, we can see here with visitors, this is all, you know, I flattened the database this morning, and it's just me testing, making sure things work, and then finding bugs, spending all my time trying to fix bugs. But you can see user accounts now, and then the identity providers. I just signed in with my Twitter to produce a product. And then there's sales profiles. There's one that's me, right? Issuances and licenses. There's only been one. This is the grand beginning, right? So just kind of scrolling through here, you can see the identity breakdown of all of the. Of course, you know, the idea here is that's going to get more. So as time goes on, and you can see the identity breakdown for the different providers that we have. So we've got Twitter, we got Reddit, things of that nature. And that's going to, you know, as soon as people start starting in with those accounts, that'll start fleshing out there. And then I added some accounting, right? So it's sort of good to see where the you know, money's coming in and money's going out, and who's selling and who's buying. Right now, we don't have to break that down by artist right at the moment, but it's just a kind of an aggregate right now. You know, this is one of those things where you just get it together for the first time, and then see what people want and what people like, and then we just build it out from there. But you can see most of the major accounting features are there. I got my 3 deposits. I tried 3 different deposits from the 3 different commerce providers, and I'm going to be showing those off here later on in the episode. And you can see the sales and resales. There haven't been none yet. So I'm going to start putting out some pings to people to test it. I know I've been getting quite a few mentions of interest to buy these, right? And they want to be the first. Then so I'm trying to be judicious, to get that out there. And it's just a really exciting time right now. So, but that hopefully next week we'll see a little bit more in that activity, and then withdrawals for the payouts. We'll get a little bit to that, and then I show the network gratuities, right? So we want to see that's how we're paying the bills here. This is how we're making Azure rich, right? So basically, all of the expenses right now is Azure, right? And I'm really blessed and very happy to be with Microsoft for startups right now, and I don't have to pay any hosting costs, but they are expensive if I did have to pay them. It's somewhere between $600 to $1,000 a month right now with how I'm using the system. And so, that's the worst case scenario. If I had to, I could probably reduce that a little bit, but it's a lot, right? That's a lot more than anything else that I'm spending right now. And so that's, these network gratuities is how I'm going to be paying for that. So that's kind of an important metric there. And then finally, we talk about the receivables, right? So this is like I'm keeping things open and transparent as much as possible. This is where when someone pays a network gratuity, this is the account that it goes into. And so I want to be able to show sort of where, the money's going in and money's going out. So you can see how responsible we're being with the money sort of thing. And that's kind of just being open and transparent about that. And hopefully over time we'll get the actual transactions, and you can get way more detail than what is presented there. But this is just a really basic first step. And then there we go. Okay. Yep. Making sure we got the right metrics there. I'm kind of scrolling through this. I'm kind of really jumpy right now with bugs, right? There's just all these different bugs that were popping up. It's like, okay, what else can go wrong? All right. So finally, with the network value, right? How much money total has gone out, and how much money has gone in, so sort of thing. And then how much is left over. So what I do is I take the deposits, all the money that's gone in. Everyone has put deposits, which is me this morning, put $15 in, three different transactions of $5 a piece, and then there have been no withdrawals yet. So that's 15, right? So $15 in, none out, and then there's $15 that's sitting in the system right now. So that's going to be kind of an interesting metric going over time. And then finally, for the last one, it's just sort of like a gut check sort of thing. It's like, okay, this is like the balance sheet sort of thing, just really basic. All the credits and all the debits in the system, from the system perspective, this should equal zero, right? So we have all people that have been doing sales or resales and whatnot, and then adding up all of the whatever is the deposits and withdrawals, right? There's different categories for each one, and it also depends on the perspective. This is from the system's perspective. When you add those together, they should be zero. So that's kind of like a gut check there, and that should always be zero there. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more context here and perspective about what I've been building with the dashboard. Hope you like it. Gold unicorn, yeah, I can dig it. All right, so what do I do? All right, so this is the whole point of this show is like kind of a semi-weekly stand-up. I go through and tell you what I did, what I'm going to be doing, and any sort of friction points that I encountered. Of course, it's sort of turned into like this, podcast sort of thing where I've added on to that. And but still, this is kind of like the meat of the matter here is what did I do since the last time I chatted with you, which was 3 weeks ago. It's all commerce, right? And I'm so happy. I'm so very happy with it, especially with Stripe and PayPal. And we also got Coinbase Commerce. And when I started this about 2.5 years ago, we had started out with Coinbase Commerce, and that had zero fees, and also cryptocurrency was a little bit newer then, and I wanted to juxtapose cryptocurrency transactions versus PayPal. That's what I had in mind, and back then, Coinbase Commerce had no fees, and PayPal was 2.5, I believe, or 2.9%. And 30 cents. They're just like Stripe, what Stripe is now. But then, since 2.5 years have passed, PayPal has increased their fees, and Coinbase is at 1%. So, but we'll see. We'll see the difference between the three different providers here in my demo. So, and the other thing I do, thankfully and gratefully, I got PayPal payouts to work, and that was such an ordeal. We'll get into that. Okay, move on. Got a streak here. I got to keep it going. Okay, so I'm a silver unicorn. This is called return on investment, by the way. When you invest into props, make sure you get your money's worth out of them. So what am I doing now? If you asked me this before this morning, I would have said I had a bunch of features I'm going to be working on these next 2 weeks. But after this morning, it's going to be bugs. I'm going to be fixing a lot of bugs. Ran into a really nasty bug this morning where it didn't occur in pre-production and staging on my local testing environment, and it didn't happen until I wanted to publish a product in production after flattening the database. Also, flattening the database had a whole set of challenges on its own. And it wasn't something that I could test either up until that point, because it was basically how Azure was detecting for swapping the slots there for between staging and production. And so there's no data. So that was different, right? And it was returning a different code for the status warm-up checks that I had in place. So anyways, that was all an ordeal. And that just basically took all my morning. And then there was the production problem. Just bugs, more bugs. Now, the good news is that after that, I'm looking at getting payouts. And PayPal has Venmo now. And that was kind of an interesting ad, because that was just a flip of the bit, or an addition of an attribute with PayPal checkout. I have Venmo support as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but PayPal and Venmo are kind of the same thing now. So that's probably not too much of a surprise, but it's kind of a nice ad that's in there. And then, I'm also looking at getting Stripe support in there for payouts. And that's going to be a little bit of time. But Coinbase also has a payout withdrawal mechanism, and I wasn't able to get it to work. But I'm also kind of happy with Coinbase now, because they're being more responsive. There's a forum now. GitHub was terrible. Their GitHub support was really bad, and it really was. It kind of brought out the agitated part of me, which I think I've mentioned a few times on this show. It's something I'm always managing. But there was an API call that was completely broken, and it wasn't working at all, and no one was replying to the GitHub. So it's just like, okay, I'm going to post things to see if anyone is paying attention. And of course, these posts got marked as off topic. So it's like, is someone paying attention here, or is this a bot? You still don't know. Anyways, there's a forum now, a developer forum, and they're really responsive and they're really friendly. So Coinbase is back on my good list here, and I'm hoping to get them involved as a payout as well. All right, pain points. I'm actually, outside the bugs this morning. I'm actually not a lot of pain right now, except for Azure, right? And I put in a priority B ticket request into Azure, and this was back in May 13th, right? This is last month. This is priority B, right? So to me, I'm thinking priority B, that's a week at most that, they're going to be tracking this thing down, and it is still ongoing. And not only that, but like yesterday, I got a reply from another engineer altogether, and it made it look like that it was passed off to another person. And I'm like, what's going on here? Now is it another person? And it's just, there's not a lot of the communication. I'm just not really happy with Azure support, unfortunately. Really nice people, very professional, very friendly, and very nice. But man, it's just the process is there. It's just like, what is going on? It's really difficult to know what's happening with the ticket. It just takes forever for things to get fixed, or addressed. And it almost feels like no one really knows what's going on over there. They're really friendly about it, but it's just really difficult to get any really good, solid support. And we'll talk about good support in the next slide here. But the other issue along such lines is PayPal. PayPal suffers from the same thing. I've got, now PayPal is actually working really well. I'm actually very happy with PayPal, but it does have some things that I'm irritated with, and I'm pointing them out in their support tickets, and they're like, well, that's a cosmetic thing. And I'm like, well, I have a checkbox that is checked, and it's not really checked. And he's like, yeah, that's showing as disabled on our side. It's just a cosmetic thing. And I'm like, thank you for verifying that, but that's a bug, and they're trying to brush it off, but it's a bug, right? Like this is not, you don't brush these things off. You make sure that you fix that, because you are eroding confidence in my ability of your system, right? Like, I'm using you for money, and if you can't get a checkbox right on my account, then what else is going on over there that I should be worried about, sort of thing. So come on, PayPal. But, we'll get into the next slide here, and we'll see how they make up for it. Yes, a new section. I know I get really Freddie about the time, but I'm just going to roll with it, right? And this is kind of more of a mental health sort of thing. And, I have this section that's dedicated to all the friction points that I'm encountering. And I just feel like, there are times I want to congratulate people, and this is it, right? And especially now with starting out here with Stripe, right? And Stripe just has been amazing, and just with their product, and I don't, it might just be that I'm just showing up at the right time because they've been around for a while now, and there've been a few posts that I've looked at, just kind of looking for answers to questions, and they weren't available back in 2019, but they're available now, and they fixed it now, and sort of thing like receipt, right? Like getting a receipt to a purchase sort of thing that wasn't available in 2019, but it is available now, or prior to 2019, or anyways, I just have good timing. It looks like, and Stripe has been. Across the board, right? Not only just the product, because it's not the product, to me, it's not the product you build, it's the product you support. And so the product is amazing to begin with, but how they support it is beyond amazing. And, I can go on and on, but I'll start with Keen in there. If I mispronounce your name, you can blame Google, because I searched on it and took a look at that, and hopefully that's how you pronounce it. And just amazing. And I actually have this Twitter. I praised you on Twitter as well, and I'll share the link here in the description on the YouTube video. Just amazing support. Just really, you get the sense that they care, right? And that's what you look for in support, And I'm kind of a hound like that because I want to be known for good support as well. I mean, you live and die by your support. Again, it's not the product you build, it's the product you support, sort of thing. And that's all I got was warm and fuzzies with Stripe. And it wasn't just with email. I found out they have Discord. I jumped into Discord a few times, like 3 or 4 times, and I would type in a question, and within a minute, like within 30 seconds, I would have a whole thread just dedicated to me and talking about it, and it was solved each and every time. It was so awesome. So kudos to you, Stripe, for your amazing support. Kudos to you, Keen. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. Great work out there. And as I like to say, if you haven't asked for a raise in a while, get yourself on that. So, okay, good. So we got Stripe. Now, I know I just got done kind of chewing out PayPal for their cosmetic, once over or whatnot, or blush over, and that's sort of like a 2 out of 10. This is sort of like one of those things where I've noticed this since February, and I've contacted you a few times about other bigger issues, and it's still there. So now I'm doing this, I'm going to get you for it, sort of thing. But PayPal has been great, and we'll see. PayPal is actually super fast with their transactions. They're the fastest actually, because you are signed in. You have to be authenticated to use, so it's a lot faster than the others. But they also got the payouts for me. And, all these little things that were going on with PayPal, you get the sense that they're kind of in their bureaucratic mess. They were able to get the payouts for me, and you have to go, they don't just give these out. You have to go through an interview process and all these different questions they ask, like, how do you vet your customers or people that are going to be using this feature or whatnot? And so, in my case, I use OAuth 2, and that's a little new, it's a little different, and so I was really worried actually that because if I didn't get PayPal, there would be no way of getting payouts, and that's probably not too big of a deal because I'll probably get Stripe here in the next couple of weeks or so. The problem with Stripe is there's no functionality that from what I see, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I'm gonna have to build a lot of things, and so there's gonna be a little bit of work for that. But if I didn't have PayPal, there was going to be no withdrawals. There's going to be no way of getting money out for the alpha announcement, and that was just going to be a really bad spot. But anyways, they got on board. They were, I was able to explain to them about the OAuth 2, and it makes sense because OAuth 2 is a strong paper trail, if you want to look at it that way. If you are going to be selling product on the marketplace, there is a publicly verifiable URL that is attached to your account, and everyone can see that. So if you're selling product with that, we know exactly who you are. We have a very strong thread, very strong trail to go find you, right? And that's exactly the point of that. And, that's the point of asking these sort of questions from PayPal's perspective. So, I was like, wow, I don't know if that's going to work because it's kind of newer, and I don't know how many people are saying that sort of thing, but we got it. So kudos to you, PayPal, and kudos to you, Stripe. All right, next slide here. Red hat goes with my shirt here. We got Transformers, Hot Rod. Hot Rod's my favorite Transformers character. It's a bit of a theme for my birthday for the past recent years. And, Transformers movie 85, 86, I believe. And just an amazing movie. And the character there, the story arc is awesome. Just my favorite character all around. And kind of goes in segue with the effectiveness level here. And that's kind of how I feel. It probably might be a little bit higher, but everything that I'm doing right now is exactly what I want to do, right? I'm not really spending a lot of time doing things besides coding or developing. It's just been all development, and I'm feeling like really much in my zone. And it's almost to the point where it's like, oh, I can actually do some customer support. I could see myself doing some customer support in addition to this sort of thing. And I'm still, that's still going to be a massive challenge when that occurs. But anyways, yeah, just feeling really good about everything. And, with that in mind, let's see what I built. Okay, time to shill. My favorite part of the episode where I shill my goods to you. It's stand up and shine and shill, and that's what this is where the shilling comes in. Kind of show you what Starbeam.one is about, what I've been working on, and kind of show off some features here. And again, this is all commerce. And what I'm going to be doing is going up to my account here. You got your flares, your flare account with an icon there, with a flare icon, and just click on that, and that'll take you to your primary flare account. It shows you your balance there, and I have nothing in here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to deposit. And that's going to take you to your deposit screen. And so how this works is you've got your 3 different providers, as I've mentioned, and that is here with Stripe, PayPal, and Coinbase. And so here, Stripe is just so pretty, right? This just looks so great, so authentic. And it just feels like this is the first time actually having any sort of like commerce transactions or a commerce interface like this. And it feels like I've arrived, right? And it was just so easy to integrate and implement. And I'm just so very happy with this. And so, there you got, my hat keeps disappearing. It's kind of bothering me. But there you go. So that's Stripe. And so if you go over here to PayPal, that also has its interface, and you can also see Venmo as well. So there you go. You got PayPal and Venmo, and that opens up in a new window and to get your transaction underway. And then with Coinbase, I can actually show a little bit more here. You can shows you each one shows you the fees. So the whole point of this, the reason why I wanted to do this was to kind of get the different providers competing with each other, right? Like these are the fees that you're paying for each provider. So you see, Coinbase has the lowest fees. PayPal is at 3.49 with a flat fee of 49 cents. And back when I started they had the same fee as Stripe, and that's 2.9 and 30 cents. So that was the whole point, to kind of compare and contrast. And also with Coinbase in particular, you had the with the coin, you had the blockchain, right? So there's the whole blockchain element, and this is like, well, what do people prefer, right? Well, it turns out that when you use a blockchain, it's really slow, right? Both PayPal and Stripe are instant. They're really, really fast. They're like a few seconds, especially PayPal. PayPal's just like, as soon as you click the button, it's pretty much done, right? And so to settle it it's very much instant. But if you do it with Coinbase, it takes a little longer. So it takes anywhere between, the fastest I got it was using Litecoin. That's kind of why I recommend Litecoin. It's about 5 minutes. And then if you use like Bitcoin, it's anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour to settle your transaction. And kind of finishing the point here, I'm going to start a transaction with Coinbase Commerce, and you can see the checkout. I mean, it's actually a pretty good solution, but the issue here is when the settlement. So my commerce is contacting my commerce server, and that's slow. I had problems with warm up. I still don't have the warm up story down, but that's why it took a long time there. But here's the checkout, right? You got your branding. I'm in the way of the branding there, and it's pretty cool, right? You select the coin that you want, and it's all really nice. It's just really slow, right? It's you got your Litecoin, and it created a checkout there, so you can see it. It's pretty cool, and you just go ahead and copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cancel out of this, and that'll cancel it and take you back. Cancel it. Yes. Does it work? I actually haven't really tested that much. So, so cancel. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to click on this, and that should take us back. Yay! Awesome. Okay, testing in real time on a demo, and it actually worked. That's amazing. Okay, so there you go. You got your fees, and if you want it, I mean, some people might be okay with that, right? They might be okay. Well, I don't like PayPal, or I don't like Stripe for whatever reason. I don't know why you would not like Stripe at this point. That's PayPal. They've been around longer, and they do have their issues. I'm better on PayPal now after the payouts. It seems like with PayPal, they struggle, but they get it right in the end. It's sort of like government. That's kind of how I view government, right? We struggle as a government, but in the end, I feel like we get things right, sort of thing. And I just think that happens with bureaucracy. And PayPal's been around for a long time. Stripe's newer, they're hungrier, and they're really on it, right? They're just someone I really appreciate right now. Coinbase is kind of like in the middle. They're really kind of like, they got the corporate. And the corporate aspect, but they're going through layoffs right now, sort of thing. And here it is. It's like, well, are you guys really that much better than Stripe and PayPal? And I know cryptocurrency is a lot more, but here is an actual application. This is what cryptocurrency is supposed to be used for, right? You're supposed to use it to transact and send value, right? And it's way slower than what's out there. So, it's just one of those things. Nice compare and contrast. But we have it all. We have each and every one of these. And I'm going to finish the point here with Payout. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be putting money in. I'm going to max out my account here with 15 flares, and I'm going to get that through PayPal. And then I'm going to put money in through PayPal, and then I'm going to go through the payouts and show you the payouts, how that looks like. And hopefully everything so opens up in a new window. You can't see it, which is kind of the reason why I'm doing it, because I would use Stripe, but I don't know. I'm not really good with my post-production video skills just yet to blur out everything appropriately, sort of thing. So we're going to go through and complete the process here. And I pressed OK, and we'll see how fast this is. Hopefully, if everything works and does not break, completing the process. And so this is a starbeam.one side here. And did we hit if you encounter a state issue, I've noticed this too, speaking of bugs, states are refreshing, but you don't actually see it. Just go back and forth on in your history, and it should update for you. And during a demo, this is early days sort of thing. That's embarrassing to happen during a demo, but that's what that. If you encounter that, that's just go back and forth or just hit refresh. The state has updated; it just hasn't reflected on that. It's one of the first things I'm going to be looking at. Okay, now we've got our money in our account, and that's not reflected up here in the top corner. I'm just going to hit F5 there to kind of drive home the point. F5 to refresh. There we go. Okay, everything's refreshed there. So just hit F5 to refresh or go back and forth. I guess if you want to get up here, the other thing too is just refreshing your user too. But okay, getting back here, we're going to withdraw now. So this is the payout. This is a payout experience. So now I'm going to make a withdrawal. I'm going to go out, and now it wants to connect with your PayPal identity. And hopefully it's going to draw from the cookie that I just created earlier. And it did. My machine is really struggling right now with the filming. There we go. So it looks like I'm going to have to learn that, learn the masking anyways. Because it showed my PayPal email address. Okay, there we go. Or I'll just kind of edit it out. And if you didn't see that, that's what I did. Is I just edited it out. Okay, so here we go. So it connects to your PayPal. This is one of the things I want to do. I want to be really integrated. I want it to build confidence and safety in the system to where the only way you get move money in or money out is if you're directly connected to the system, right? So with PayPal, I guess technically it's the same because they do allow a username, right? So it's username, phone number or email address, excuse me. So yes, so you can use an email address, your phone number, or a PayPal ID, which is what I'm using here. Is I'm using your PayPal ID, but you can also send money just to an email and phone number. To me, that sounds like, well, anyone can put in a phone number or anyone can put in any email, and they might be able to still track it. But if they already have the username, and there's also a kind of a special setting that you can apply to your account that you can't interface with accounts that are not confirmed, right? So I'm wanting to make it as confirmed and direct as possible to the person, right? This is like completely opposite from what you see in the cryptocurrency space, right? And that's kind of what I'm after here, is to gain that trust, that confidence here, to where that when money goes in and money goes out, you know exactly who it's going to, and you know exactly where it's coming from, sort of thing. And so that's what we're getting to here. But getting back to with the ID, you're going directly with the ID, and if we use username and password, if we use the email and phone number, it might be a little bit less secure, and people can probably game that a little bit more. So okay, so getting back to the point here, we're showing the deposit. We can specify the amount. Now there are fees with PayPal, right? So and they're actually very minimal. They used to be. I was under the impression that it was 2%, but it's only 25 cents per transaction. So I don't know what's. We have to look at Stripe as well. It looks like PayPal is actually doing better than anything that I've seen so far from Stripe, because I believe Stripe has that 2% as well. So or that 2% as part of their fee schedule, sort of thing. So I have to look into it, right? It's going to be one of those things where this is exactly what I want to do. I wanted to show have these different services, and people can choose the best one, the ones that they're most comfortable with. Okay, so I hit the maximum, and that put me to the max here, and I'm going to hit request, and we're going to be going to confirmation here with that $15 that I chose, less the fees, which is $14.75. Okay. And now I'm going to cross my fingers, and hopefully everything goes well here. And so the thing with the payouts is it does take a little bit of time, and I'm going to I'm going to fast forward the video here because I don't want you to sit around for a minute. We're already taking a lot of time here, but that's what's going to occur. All right, there we go. Kind of cool, huh? Just it doesn't the payout isn't instantly transacted. It has to do some processing on their end, so it doesn't instantly transact like a payment does, right? And so it takes a little bit of time, and it checks once a minute during that time, but pretty cool, right? It goes in, got your money in, got your money going out. We know exactly who you are, sort of thing, and it's directly tied to your verified PayPal account, so everyone knows who they are, and we have very strong threads to pull in case anything goes wrong, sort of thing. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, well, that's the last one. Hopefully it wasn't too annoying, and it is my birthday after all, so we get carried away a little things. It's okay, right? Worse things have happened with me. Let's just put it that way. And so here we are, right? It's a little longer this week, but again, really no time constraints, only my own that I'd invent in my own mind. And I just wanted to send my thanks out to everyone. It's 13 subscribers now, and I'm very happy with each and every one of you. I'm happy with all the support, all the comments, all the feedback. And if you ever have any feedback, these are QR codes, believe it or not, underneath me here in the video. You can try to enact on those, or you can just go to the information there. The only thing probably that's unclear is that's my Twitter, but just get a hold of me through email or on the website, and I am there, and there you can contact me there. So that's all I have to say for this week. Finally, really appreciate all your time and all of your appreciation. And now I can also say thank you for your purchases, because I'm actually selling something now, and it's still taking some time to get used to. So thank you, and until next time, stay bright and stay safe out there. Goodbye.